Hey everyone, this is PM Sport Talk, the father and son duo podcast. I'm your host Preston, alongside my father Mike and Dad. How are we doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great. Just had a nice Easter weekend, and it's one of my favorite times of the year. Playoffs are here.
Yep, we got playoff hockey, playoff basketball. We'll go over that. We also got a special NFL draft week. That will be taking place this upcoming Thursday, so we'll touch on that. Let's start off with our good old NBA playoffs. And so far we've gotten it's all been game ones so far. We've gotten two good game ones, and then the rest have kind of just been blowouts.
NBA, typical NBA first round. I don't know if it's always this bad, but you get a lot of blowouts, a lot of one-sided series because you got 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7. Those matchups usually aren't very good, and this year is no exception. Well, the only exception would be in the West. We have the 7 Golden State against the 2 Houston, which could go the other way. But the Eastern Conference, my God. They may as well just go to the second round right now. I know it's only been one game, but
I'd say the only good series in that Eastern Conference would probably be Pistons-Knicks. That could be the best one you're getting.
That could be the best one. I think that's only going 5. I mean, Celtics is going to be a sweep unless Boston doesn't show up one night. Same with Cleveland and Miami.
You think the Pacers are going to easily beat the Bucks?
That's the only one where I think Game 2 could be a little different. We still don't know if Dame's playing yet, though. Mm-hmm. He's been upgraded to questionable, I think. I think they play tomorrow. I'm not positive, but
with that, let's take a look at our game ones and recap here. We can get the freaking horrible games out of the way. The worst blowout was yesterday. The Thunder beat the Grizzlies by 51 points.
I know the Thunder are good, and the Grizzlies, were in the play-in and all this. But that's a team, the Grizzlies, that, was a very competent team just a couple years ago, and they still have a lot of the same players. And
They were not too long ago. I want to say in February, they were a 2 seed. They were a 2 seed in this Western Conference. Now they're an 8 seed, and that is not a good start against the number 1 Thunder.
How do you lose by 50? It's like they just gave up on the game.
I watched this game until it got really out of hand. One thing I noticed about this Thunder team, if you want to beat them, you got to run. Because the main reason why the Thunder were going on such big runs was because the Grizzlies were taking shots. Everyone was in the paint. And then when it comes time to get back on defense, you already got a Thunder player down there for a wide open dunk or layup. And the Grizzlies just did a terrible job running and spreading the floor.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, I didn't watch a lick of it because I knew it was gonna be a blowout.
Terrible transition, and the Thunder just absolutely dominated this game.
Yeah,
and it just seemed like even without those fast breaks, the Thunder just couldn't miss. They were hitting every shot they took. It seemed like.
Yeah, I could see the Grizzlies maybe winning a game if they get lucky, but they're not going to win the series. It's going to be 4 or 5 games.
Right. So
no chance there.
I mean, Celtics, I think, are sweeping the Magic. I don't really want to go over that. Maybe in 5. Cleveland's winning this series.
4 or 5. I mean, they're not even. Those games aren't even competitive.
Warriors and Rockets.
I got to see more.
I like what I saw from Golden State, but Houston.
It was their first game in the playoffs, so
Houston's a young team, and Ime Udoka literally took a team to the finals. So I mean, I'm not counting out Houston yet.
Game 2 is critical for them,
right?
If they lose Game 2, then they're going to get beat in like 5 games.
If Damian Lillard plays in Game 2, heading to the Bucks and Pacers series, if Damian Lillard plays in Game 2 and the Bucks win, I think that series is probably for sure going 6 or 7. I think that's one of the better series in the Eastern Conference. Pistons, Knicks. This was a close game.
It was close. I don't see maybe the Pistons win a game in Detroit. But
No, the Pistons were winning this game, by the way, and the Knicks went on a 16-0 run or some crazy stuff. And then there was one game I want to go. Let's go to Clippers and Nuggets. That game 1 was the best game from this weekend.
That game was I watched that whole game. Well, pretty much that whole game. That was, a good game all the way, start to finish. Looked like the Clippers were led most of the game. But
if I'm going to say this, if the Clippers did not turn the ball over so much, they would be winning this series right now 1-0. They turned the ball over too much. Kawhi Leonard, the Clippers had the ball. I think either the game was tied or they were leading, and Kawhi Leonard was careless with the ball, had it like this. Jamal Murray poked it out of bounds, and that changed the entire game, I think, right there. The Clippers have a ton of guys who can score, though. That's the thing. They have Harden, Kawhi. There's 2 great scorers. Zubac in the paint played very well, but the guy on the Nuggets, obviously, you got to stop Jokic. I mean, you got to be able to stop him, and it just seems like that's almost impossible.
Jokic, he's going to do that every night.
One guy who really stepped up in this game, Russell Westbrook.
Yeah,
in the closing stages, he hit a 3, which gave him the lead before overtime. And then the Clippers had a chance they had the ball, they had a chance to tie or take the lead. I think this was in overtime. And James Harden is receiving the inbound pass. Russell Westbrook flies over there like shot out of a cannon, tips the ball out of bounds. It goes off Harden. His hustle is what makes him still a key player on these teams.
He's one of those players. I like to say he keeps both teams in the game because he just goes 100 miles an hour, and sometimes he's really reckless.
That's what gets, because he likes to play fast.
And then there's other times where that 100-mile-an-hour speed makes those great plays, like you said, the out-of-bounds plays.
If you go back just before the regular season ended, Jokic, 61 points on a triple-double, and Russell Westbrook missed a wide-open layup because he was flying down the court.
Yeah.
And then literally the next possession with seconds left, he fouls Edwards, I think it was, flying over there trying to block a 3-point shot.
He's a very frustrating player to watch if you're rooting for the team he's on, because he does those things. But
after he left Oklahoma City, he was just, I don't know, he's just never been the same.
I can live with him missing 3-pointers because he's not a great shooter.
Mm-hmm.
I can live with him doing that. If he's got a wide open shot, he's got to take it, and he misses, okay, whatever. It's when he goes flying down and he misses the layups.
Right.
That drives me nuts.
Those are 2 points that you need.
He makes a layup, a standard layup into this hard play. It just seems like it every time, man.
I see what you're saying.
And he made that key shot, like you said, before overtime. So it worked out for him in that game.
Well, game 2 tonight, you got the Pistons and Knicks. That starts at 7:30 Eastern. Then Clippers and Nuggets will follow at 10 Eastern.
And
then let's go up, Dad. What did you say last week? Lakers in what? 5?
Is that what I said?
5? Lakers in 5 or 6? I think you were confident in 5, though.
I was. I did not think the Timberwolves. I just didn't see it.
Ant-Man's overrated?
This might be a bad matchup for the Lakers. I might be eating my words on this one. It's only one game. I got to see more, but it might be a bad matchup because the Timberwolves have a lot of players, and the Lakers are relying on the big two, and what's his name?
What really kills the Lakers, I think, here is the Timberwolves have two really good big guys, Gobert and Reed, and the Lakers have Jackson Hayes.
Yeah.
Alex Len.
That could be it right there. But I got to say, I don't see the Timberwolves hit every single shot. Every three they took went in almost. And I don't see that happening again. So, if they're not making those threes like they did, that's a totally different game.
That's what they want you to say. That's what they want you to say. Everyone looks at Luka and LeBron and say, Timberwolves got no chance. Anthony Edwards, no, don't count him out. I mean, this guy can play in the playoffs. Well, Luka Doncic shined, but everyone else seemed to be lost here on the Lakers. LeBron had 19. That's not going to do it.
No, he needs to be in the upper 20s.
If we go back to the Lakers stat line, I want to see Austin Reeves, 16 points. That's probably what you're going to get out of him. He's a good player, but you can't expect him to have 20 every game.
I would expect more than that from him, but
when you have three players in double digits, and your fourth leading scorer with 9 points, it's not going to cut it. 9 points, and then Hachimura had 9, and then the guy after that, I couldn't see. Dalton Connect had 5.
How come Dalton Connect only played 3 minutes?
That is a good question. Why the heck is Bronny James getting minutes in the playoffs?
He played when the game was out of reach in the end. But,
then that makes sense.
But why is Dalton? Did he? I mean, I didn't.
I don't know. I don't know what happened there, but
don't
Dalton,
they need his offense?
He needs to play. Don't know why he's not in these games. It seems like ever since they tried to ship him off to Charlotte, he came back, and now he's just lost it.
I mean, I just don't understand. They don't have a lot of offensive.
He needs to be in the game. This is not good for the Lakers. I mean, if they keep playing like this, and like you said, those decisions of who to play.
I mean, look at the Timberwolves 3-point. They shot 50%. That's not going to happen again. Teams don't shoot 50% from 3.
Not a lot of free throws in this game. Only 26 combined. I kind of like to see that in the playoffs.
So
Timberwolves had 10, and the Lakers had 16.
I think you're going to see a much different game tomorrow night.
But this is what you need to look at. That looks like the Timberwolves were playing more as a team. 29 assists to the Lakers 15. And then you look at the rebounds, Timberwolves beat that by 6. That's going to help you.
Yeah. To me, it's all the 3-point shooting. That changed the whole game because the Lakers had to sell out on the 3-point shooting. And
you say those 3-point shots, but man, like we said, the center trouble, the Timberwolves had 44 in the paint. The Lakers had 32.
Yeah, I know, but
Lakers are not going to be able to go in the paint. That's going to be a struggle for them.
Yeah, this may end up being just a tale of a bad matchup for the Lakers.
Because
I'm telling you right now, this Timberwolves team is not going to win in the next
LeBron
round.
is great, but I'm going to tell you, I don't think he's ever been a great shooter. He really hasn't. This might be like this season, or ever since he joined the Lakers, this is probably the best shooting he had in his career, and I don't even think he's 40% from 3.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. The next game, tomorrow night's game, is the Lakers have to win. If they lose that, they're not winning the series.
It's going back to Minnesota.
Yeah, so they have to win that game. We'll see how they respond, and we'll see how the Timberwolves, if they've cooled off any or not. So, big game, 2 big games. That game there, and what was the other one?
Nuggets and Clippers is tonight.
And the other pivotal one for the home team,
Warriors and Rockets.
Warriors and Rockets, Houston. Houston, if they lose, they're losing the series. And the Lakers, if they lose, they're losing the series. Those are two huge games for two teams, two higher seeded teams.
We'll have to see how those go. And we did have some NHL playoff action this weekend as well.
Yes, the NHL started, and I gotta admit that wasn't all that great either.
Right. There's a lot of blowouts.
The game ones of the playoffs have not been great.
Both ways.
Both. The NHL playoffs, their first round is usually way better than the NBA. I mean, got to give it time. We still have the one thing that the NHL did this year, which I don't like. We're in day 3 now of the playoffs, and there's still a bunch of teams that haven't played yet. And
you were complaining about the NBA schedule.
Yeah, the NHL never does that, and all of a sudden this year they've done that, all because of the TV. And Florida and Tampa don't play until tomorrow. First game. Wow. There's going to be teams playing their second game tomorrow, and they're going to be playing their first. That makes no sense.
Wow. Yeah. NBA was a lot more organized with theirs. They had 4 games Saturday, 4 games Sunday.
The NHL has 4 games tonight, but the Tampa and Florida should be one of them, and they're not. I don't understand that. It's really dumb how they set this up. If they're gonna go the way of the NBA, that's gonna turn me off, because that's one thing I loved about the NHL is it's every other night they play. The series plays. Now if they're gonna do this stuff that the NBA is doing, where 3 days in between, and one series is in game 3 and the other series is just playing game 1. I mean, that makes no sense. And it messes things up too if for the second round, because that series starting later, Tampa, Florida, those teams might not have as much rest time. They're going to have to jump right into the next round compared to some of the others, So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, here you were bashing on the NBA, saying hockey's so great. They play every day, and here we are. We're having game 1s during game 2s.
You know you can blame for that, don't you?
Who?
ESPN. They're because they control the schedule because of the TV, and
I miss when NHL was on NBC. The vibes were different. And
it was
just better. Yeah, it was just better. It's as simple as that.
The commentators were better. It was, you knew what was going on.
Doc Emmerich, he was one of a kind.
It was, yep.
Now we got frickin' Sean McDonough calling big games.
That was their only sport was the NHL, basically.
And they took it.
And they covered it. ESPN hockey's their third sport.
They don't need hockey.
I mean, they took it. I mean, they got rid of baseball, and now
they have to find TV time to share with the NBA.
That's what it is, because they got NBA and the NHL going on at the same time, and both teams.
And ESPN is going to favor NBA over NHL.
And both networks covering are ESPN and TNT. They both are the two ones covering the NBA, and they're covering the NHL. So they got this flip-flopping stuff going on all over the place.
That's horrible.
And you know what I heard today was, I didn't realize it, but I looked it up. The Denver Nuggets and the Colorado Avalanche, who play in Denver, 5 of their 7 games, and both those series are on at the same time.
Really?
Why would you do that to those fans in Denver? They have to pick between the basketball or the hockey.
Yeah, it's just all out of sorts.
Why wouldn't you have it so that one night was the Nuggets and the other night was the Avalanche? Nope. I mean, it's not that hard to figure this schedule out.
Right. Yeah, because ESPN, this is a problem. I think next year it should be a little bit better due to the NBA. I think it's moving to. I know the TNT NBA
is done.
It's done. I think they're
NBC.
It's either NBC and I think Prime has a channel too.
Yeah.
So I think the playoffs might be a little better next year scheduling wise.
You would
if you look at TNT at least, because TNT they won't have to share with the NBA anymore.
You would think, but I don't know.
I hope that's the case.
But if ESPN still is the major right holder to the NHL games,
It probably will be.
Still, it'd be better off if TNT was going forward, because then they could show all the hockey.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's probably not going to happen.
No, I mean, not right now. I mean, whenever the next agreement comes up.
ESPN has a lot of good analysts too. That I don't know if that has something to do with it, but yeah.
I mean, ESPN is everything sports, but
hockey wise,
they've kind of ruined sports in a way, because they have to have their hands in everything, but they don't. They're dropping the ball with the playoffs.
That's why I'm glad the Super Bowl doesn't have to share with ESPN in a way, because NFL you're getting at most now like 2 ESPN playoff games. However, though, Joe Buck and Aikman, they have a lot of pull just by name value, so that could be something to look at in the future.
Well, they're getting the Super Bowl.
Are they?
Yeah, I'm not sure when it is, but they are getting a Super Bowl.
That makes sense now because they have Buck and Aikman.
ABC.
Interesting. So yeah, scheduling issues and NHL playoffs. There you have it. But we're gonna now dive into a detailed look at the NFL draft, and we will see what we think could happen. Maybe trades, and this like best fits. So if we could look up the NFL draft order, and we will see what we got here.
Well, we know what's going to happen first.
Cam Ward's not a debate anymore.
Cam Ward's going to Tennessee.
And then you already got questions with number 2, Cleveland. It seems favorable that now they want to get Travis Hunter, but the Browns could flip and get Abdul Carter. It depends on what they want to do.
Yeah, it sure sounds like they want Hunter. That's kind of how Cleveland goes. They kind of want they're going to take the splashier player, which is Hunter. You know, he can play and defense and a little bit of offense.
I think now that they extended Myles Garrett, they don't really have to worry about an edge rusher. If Myles Garrett was traded or left, I think they'd take this guy, no question. But they're probably going to go Hunter. Excuse me. Who's third? Can we go back to the other screen?
Third was Giants.
So I think they take whoever Cleveland. Actually, I take that back. I don't know, because if Cleveland takes Hunter, I don't think Carter goes to the Giants.
Everybody's saying he is,
but I mean, is that really what the Giants need? I mean, they already have a very good defensive line. If they want to help their team, and plus you got to think, what will Dable and Joe Shine do? Because their jobs are on the line this season. That is a big thing to look at. So will they go best player available? Will they go what do they need? Because if you look at the Giants line, they have Brian Burns and Thibodeau. Thibodeau isn't this splashy player, but he's serviceable. And then you got Dexter Lawrence up the middle.
Yeah.
So I don't think they go Sanders here. They have 3 quarterbacks. I don't think that's an option for them now.
Doesn't sound like they're going with Sanders. I know all the draft experts are saying if Cleveland takes Hunter, they're taking Carter. But if for some reason Cleveland took Carter, then they would take Hunter. But like you say, if Cleveland takes Hunter, which they probably will,
I don't think they take Carter. I really don't.
They might be don't they need offensive linemen more than they need a defensive lineman?
Probably. You could see LSU's Will Campbell maybe going to the Giants.
Yeah, all these draft experts are saying he's going to the Patriots at 4. So
yeah,
maybe he goes to the Giants because their offense was the problem last year.
Right. So I think the Giants flip offensive side. You see offensive lineman here, I'd say, or wide receiver, one of the two. And if you take a wide receiver, it would probably, my guess would be McMillan out of Arizona.
Yeah, I think they go.
I think they go tackle though.
I my guess is either if they don't take Carter, they're taking an offensive lineman there. They're not taking Sanders. They got Wilson there.
Yep.
They might draft a quarterback. They might trade up to get a quarterback later on, or draft one in the second round. I think they have a high second round pick too. So, but they're not in love with Sanders enough that they're going to take him at 3.
Right.
So I'd be shocked if they take him.
Let's see. Patriots. If you were to ask me before the Diggs signing, I'd say McMillan out of Arizona for sure. But now that they have, I'm not going to say Diggs is still this great player, but he is a good wide receiver. I don't think there's any doubt about that, and I don't think they'll spend their first round pick there.
They're taking offensive.
So they're you think they're So if the Giants were to go offensive line,
there's 2 of them though.
the Patriots will. I don't know that there's a tackle from Texas, Kelvin Banks, I think his name is. He's getting some love in the first round.
There's also an offensive lineman from Missouri.
I don't know.
Membu, Armand Membu.
Right. I don't know about him too much, but that's an option for them. But geez, it looks here, Dad, like these experts have the Patriots going Tyler Warren, tight end out of Penn State. He's climbing, so maybe.
I mean, they need a lot of things on offense, but first of all, you got to protect Drake May.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
that's got to be.
You got to have offensive line. I mean,
I think offensive line would be the smart pick here, but if they go by best player, yeah, it could be a possibility. Warren is a New England Patriot, but yeah, like I agree with you. I think the right call for New England would be offensive line, and based on what I'm seeing, I don't think these picks are very accurate because they got Cam Ward all the way down at 7. So, or is this just rankings? I don't know. But, yeah, you look at Patriots, you look at offensive line. Let's go to number 5, Jacksonville Jaguars, and I haven't seen a single prospect projected to go there that's not named Mason Graham out of Michigan.
Yeah, he's I pencil him in. He's there.
Raiders, they have a lot of options here. There's a real possibility, right? Genty is a Las Vegas Raider, or they go wide receiver. That could be a landing spot for McMillan.
They're going skill player.
So McMillan or Genty, I think you have there in Las Vegas, and the 7th pick is the New York Jets.
That's interesting with them. I heard that Warren could go to them.
That's what I've heard too. I think Warren is a huge possibility there. So that's another team that might need a lineman, but I don't know. This Jets are a team that doesn't really like to spend first-round picks on offensive linemen.
That they could go offensive line or
I think you look at Tyler Warren going there. I think he's too good of a prospect for New York to pass up. Then after that, you have the Carolina Panthers. And if the Raiders take Genty, I think the Panthers take McMillan. Or they go corner, but I think this is a good landing spot for Tatora McMillan, or however you say it.
They need some skill players.
So I think they take McMillan here.
For Bryce Young to throw to. I mean, he made some big improvements the second half of the year last year.
Right.
Get some skill players in there for him to throw the ball to. They might be on the right track. The next one's really interesting. New
Orleans. I think this could be a landing spot for Shedeur Sanders.
Derek Carr, we still don't know.
With that Derek Carr news, it's a possibility.
He's 36, and we don't know the extent. He could be out all year, but they don't know.
So if the Saints don't pick up a quarterback here, it looks like if Carr's done,
they're not going to go with Spencer Rattler as their starting quarterback. I don't think.
I mean, like,
how could you?
Yeah, if Sanders is there, if I'm the Saints, I'm taking him.
There's Sanders, or there's been talk about Jackson Dart. I probably would go with Sanders if I was picking. But I mean, Dart, I don't know. He's a wild card. Neither one of them at times impress you, and at times they don't. And so I'm not sure what you're getting between the two of them. But I would think they're picking one of those guys there, because
I think it's Shedeur Sanders.
Even if Carr comes back, I mean, he's 36 years old.
Right. I think the Saints go quarterback here, no matter if Carr's done or not. But yeah, that would be a good pick for them. Chicago, there's talk about them trading back, and that would be not the worst move. They have had a good offseason.
They had a lot of draft picks last year. They can get more if they trade down. And
if they do not, though,
what do they need most there, do you think?
Because let me think. I would have to say offensive line. I mean, Caleb Williams, he was running for his life last season.
That's why when they said they're going to trade back, I kind of like, unless there's not a slam dunk offensive lineman available, but don't you have to go with whoever's the next top lineman at that point, number 10 in the draft? Don't you have to take him there? Because you're going to kill him back there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to get hurt. It's amazing he made it through that rookie season last year. He was under duress every single time he threw the ball.
Right.
And that's why I thought it was unfair of people saying that he had a bad rookie year and all this. Mm-hmm. The guy was running for his life the whole time. I mean,
I'm looking at offensive line here for the Bears if they do not trade down. Take a look at the 49ers. Interesting. They lost a lot of defensive players, so I think defense is the pick here. And I'm looking at a DB for them. Maybe Will Johnson, maybe Malachi Starks. One of those two. Cowboys.
I don't know what
I don't even know. Maybe
they need a running back, don't they?
They need a running back, but I don't know if they would reach for Omarion Hampton from North Carolina. He's a good player, but I don't know if Dallas would take him at 12.
Who do they even have for running back right now?
Zeke, he's on a 1 year. He's done.
Who was their main guy last year?
Dowdle.
Yeah, he's okay.
He's more. I think he's better at RB2.
Yeah.
So I think they take Omarion Hampton here if they really look at the running back need, because let's be honest here, no matter what pick you have, if you don't take him there, he's probably not going to be available in the second round.
No way.
So I think that would be a smart pick there. Dolphins, I heard a lot about this could be the place for Malachi Starks out of Georgia.
They're trading, what's his name?
Who?
The corner.
Ramsey.
Jalen Ramsey. They're trading. They're shopping him around. They're trying to trade him. So
Dolphins is secondary all the way.
Yeah, they're going secondary. So whoever's the best, Will Johnson if he's there, Starks if he's there.
So we're running a little short on time. I want to skip to some of the interesting picks.
Let's go down.
We can go to the Steelers because
we gotta talk about Steelers.
No bias here. This is a pick for most people. They have no idea what they're gonna do. With the quarterback situation, you have to explore dart option.
Well, we all heard Rodgers on McAfee the other day, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's not ready to make a decision.
So the Steelers leave.
If they're waiting on him, I've lost all faith in them.
They've got to wake up. And I saw this news report. This is how it was phrased. Aaron Rodgers has given the Steelers his blessing to not sign him.
Really? I didn't see that one. What's that?
What?
Giving them his blessing?
You are 41 years old on a bad foot. What? If anything, you should be lucky that they were even considering you so heavily. But yeah, that was a whole bunch of crap. But back to the draft. You got to look. If I don't know what they could do besides quarterback, defensive line maybe, because Hayward's getting old.
Defensive line. I mean, there's talk about. There's been a lot of talk about Watt getting traded, and
If that is a bunch of crap.
I'm just saying.
I'd have to see the perfect offer for Watt to get traded. I've also seen frickin' Pickens and a bunch of news.
And I don't know if I believe any of it.
I don't know if I believe it. I think it's just people creating headlines. I guess we'll have to see. But the Steelers.
What do you?
If I have
Take
to say, they're taking Jackson Dart here if he's here.
They're taking Dart. They're going to take whoever's left between Dart and Sanders, unless they like Tyler Shugg from Louisville.
Who's that?
Tyler Shugg from Louisville.
Is he a quarterback?
Yeah.
He's a first round projected.
He only started 1 year, but he was hurt a lot. That's why he didn't play. Apparently,
He must have had a very good pro day or something.
No, he might have, but apparently he's got all the measurables. He's big, can run. Coming out of high school was a really top prospect. Just never materialized because he was hurt a lot, and so there's a lot of interest in him. Could you see Pittsburgh taking a chance on somebody like that? I don't know. He might have more upside than those other two, but he could have more downside too.
Right. I think the safe pick's Dart. If you're picking between him and that Tyler Shipp.
Would you take if Sanders is still there? Who would you take, Sanders or Dart?
Shedeur Sanders.
You would, yeah.
Yeah, you know what you're getting there.
The only thing I don't like about Sanders, I think he's a smart player. I think he's very accurate, which is good. Mm-hmm. The only thing I don't like about him that turns me off, besides his attitude, mm-hmm. which I don't necessarily think will be a problem with Tomlin there,
right,
is he doesn't have the strongest arm in the world. If you watch him throw, he doesn't have that zip. You know what I mean? Mm. Now, Tom Brady coming out of Michigan didn't have that zip either. So,
yeah, it's all about how they develop him.
Take it where it's at.
If he goes there,
Jackson Dart,
he has a good arm.
He has a very good arm, and he can run. Mm. But I don't think he's as accurate as Sanders.
So there you go. That's
interesting to see what they do.
Yeah,
because I don't.
If you have trouble with offensive line injuries, I would really like Dart behind there because his ability to extend plays would be huge.
Because if Pittsburgh wasn't a win now team, which they need to be, mm-hmm. I could see them rolling with Mason Rudolph and drafting somebody like that Tyler Shugg to develop him. But because they're a win. If
they drafted him, if they weren't a win now team, that can't be in the first round.
No, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
I'm saying if they weren't a win now team because of a lot of their age, I would say they would roll with Mason Rudolph.
I know what you're saying.
And take Tyler Shugg in the third round.
Yeah, that wouldn't be.
But bad. Because they're
taking quarterback first round.
I just hope it's not another Kenny Pickett thing with like Jackson Dart.
It shouldn't be. Dart is a better player than Pickett. Like if you compare them in college.
Not if you look at their stats.
No, you can't look at stats though. You got to actually watch them play.
I mean, he did play in the SEC too. So
Pickett played in the ACC. That is a horrible division.
Well, what about Sanders? He played in the Big 12.
That was a good division.
Pac-12 last year.
Yeah, but this year he played in the Big 12 and he played pretty well.
Yeah. It's interesting. I don't know what they're doing. But.
Well, we are local, so our last pick we'll go over is the Buffalo Bills. I think the Bills here, they might get very lucky because a lot of scouts have kind of drifted away from a very talented receiver. His name is Luther Burden from Missouri. And I think there's a real possibility he's there at 30 and the Bills can get him.
Isn't he kind of like a slash type?
What does that mean?
Like, comes out of the backfield and plays receiver?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would be good for Allen.
He's fast.
Right.
Yeah. They don't have a playmaker like that, do they?
I think the Bills need to go receiver here.
They don't have
They have Shakir, and they have a bunch of wide receiver twos. I think
threes.
Yeah, Cooper is not it anymore.
Nope. I'm surprised he's still there. Yeah, they need a receiver.
But yeah, I think if they get Luther Burden, they would hit the jackpot.
Interesting. I like that.
Well, let's move on now to our plays of the week. Coming from Texas and Dodgers, Adolis Garcia slams one to left. Goodbye. Walk-off home run for the Rangers.
Is he back? Because he was absent last year. Is he back for the Rangers now? I mean, like back as he's the man again?
You watch that playoff run, the World Series run, he seemed like the guy. That's a very good question. And right here, a throwback slam for Garcia for the win. Coming from Mets in St. Louis, Lindor, high fly, ball to right. It's the ball game.
Man, upper decker. What a shot.
So many fans were focused on Soto. This guy is still the man of the Mets. No doubt. Coming from Timberwolves and Lakers. To end the half, it's off to Dante DiVincenzo. Pulls up from near the logo. He got it. What a shot.
He was trying to get it to Ant-Man, and he couldn't get it to him, so he took the shot. Unbelievable.
Here we go. Timberwolves and Lakers. Ant-Man gets Luka to jump. Back to him. Shot in Luka's face, and he drills it, and he gives him a little taunt after. Coming from Cubs and Diamondbacks. There were 16 combined runs between these two teams in the 8th inning alone. Kyle Tucker sends one to right, and that one was the dagger in the Diamondbacks' hearts.
What a game. Unbelievable.
If you want to include this one too, right after Seiya Suzuki joins the club in a solo shot to right center. This was just an incredible game. All right, Dad, there were a lot of games and like a bunch of sports. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to name two disappointments and two top performers.
You got me to come up with two, huh? All right. My biggest disappointment was Devin Williams, the Yankee closer, blew an 8-4 lead in the bottom of the 9th inning against Tampa on Saturday. My other disappointment would be the refs or the umpires in the game the next day for the Yankees. They blew a home run for Judge, and they changed the scoring to take the no-hitter away from Max Fried. Those are my two disappointments. My two outstanding performers. I'm going to go with, a lot of your guys in the audience aren't going to know who he is, but William Nylander for the Toronto Maple Leafs had a great game last night for their 6-2 win against the Game 1 opener against the Ottawa Senators. And my other performer, I'm going to go with another Yankee. I'm all Yankees. Ben Rice went, I believe, 4 for 5 the other night. A couple home runs. Well, no, one home run and a bunch of hits. He's unbelievable. He's having a great start to the season. He's my performer.
I like those picks. My biggest disappointment is my first one is just gonna be the Lakers. They just did not show up to play, and they paid for it. They had 3 scores in double digits, and in the playoffs, that's absolutely unacceptable. You got to have scoring if you want to win, and Luka was the only one who seemed to be doing that. So, first disappointment is the Lakers. My second disappointment would have to be, there's a lot of options. Probably, even though they aren't expected to win, the Memphis Grizzlies. Getting blown out by 51 is just a horrible look in the playoffs, and they're not even the worst team I've ever seen. So those are my two disappointments. My first top performer, and probably the best performer of the week in any sport, Max Fried, should have had a no-hitter, but only allowed 2 hits and 0 runs in a combined shutout for the Yankees. And my second top performer, this one is going to surprise people. He was not expected to do this good, but coming off the bench for the Knicks, Cameron Payne. He came in knocking down threes, couldn't really miss, and he was a big part of why the Pistons blew that lead and allowed that big run. So those are my 2 top performers and 2 biggest disappointments of the week. And do you have any predictions before we sign off here?
Well, we've pretty much gone over our predictions, but I'm going to back up my prediction that the Lakers do win that series. I'm going to back it up right here, right now, saying Lakers come back, win that series.
I like it. My prediction will be that as much of a talent as he is, Abdul Carter falls out of the top 5 specifically due to team needs.
Wow, that's it. That would be a shocker.
Even though he's my best player in this draft, I think he will fall based on what the team needs.
We shall see. Big night Thursday.
With that being said, once again, I'm Preston with my father, Mike, and we will see you guys on the next episode of PM Sport Talk. Thank you for joining us, and goodbye.